All right. Episode 3, the hottest podcast, maybe in Canada. I don't know. Definitely in Ancaster.
Hottest podcast on Wilson Street.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah.
So we'll start small, right? And
Start
we'll
small.
just put this on for 20 minutes. Maybe in 17 minutes today. It's going to be a short one.
Okay.
It's going to be a banger, though.
All right.
So let's get into
Like the
this.
speed round?
Kind of like a speed round, yeah. Like a.
Speed round.
You ever done speed dating?
No.
No. Hey, you only had the one girl.
Yeah, I got married at 25. Met my wife in high school.
How's that?
It's great. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah,
It's awesome.
You
Yeah.
get three lovely daughters.
Yeah. Three
House-
beautiful kids. Beautiful life.
Household of girls.
Yep. Yep.
Big softy, eh?
Big softy. Yeah. They did. They made me, yeah.
Which is always funny when you get a big strong guy that has the females and it kind of... Again, you're still that guy, but it's like you have that now softer, more empathetic side, I guess, right? Because they look up to you that way and...
Yeah, I grew up in a family of all men. It was
Alright.
all men. Like, I had a brother. My dad had 4 brothers. My grandfather, I don't know, he was from a family of like fucking 24 kids. I don't know. It's back in the day. No one had birth control.
Just just a free-for-all.
Popped out babies every...
I think back then it was literally like...
I think like women
Hold
you get pregnant with like 2 at once at separate times. It was crazy. You just
Yeah,
had one that's 3 months in the...
I actually asked that, question
7 months.
recently. I asked him, like...
Come on.
I kind of really thought about it. I'm like, if you have a baby, I'm like, do you have to be 9 months apart, or like, I'm like, I don't
You're
know.
an idiot.
Well, you can have twins that are a few minutes apart. Why not a few months apart? I don't know. I haven't had a baby. I haven't been in that situation. It's one of those things you don't take the time to actually think about until you think about it, and you're like, yo, what is that?
Did you go to Catholic school?
Early when I was young,
Yeah.
like kindergarten. Then I went straight public nation.
Cool.
Free for all at that point.
You need to go back to your anatomy class and figure out how
What's a
babies
vagina? Exactly. How are babies made? But let's get into the other topics here. You want to talk about ghosts today? Paranormal activity?
Well, just because it came up the other day.
Didn't you said you want to talk about this?
So what we were talking about
Yeah,
in
of
the
course.
gym, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
But
it.
you don't
Let's
believe
do
it,
ghosts.
and I don't.
No.
I know. But again, so
No.
what? The funny thing is, though, I don't believe it, but like I almost get somewhat
That's
convinced
ridiculous.
of the aspect that people believe it so full-heartedly. They're like, I've had this experience, man. There's no other way to justify it other than there was some spiritual, paranormal activity going on.
Do you have an example? Let's get into this, because I love this conversation.
Just people saying shit's moving. You know,
people are
they
fucking
see
crazy.
things move. This went there. The chair fell down, and then they heard a noise, and doors were opening and closing. Like they're like, man, like it happened.
It's amazing, though, to me that in this day and age, like I am somebody who just firmly believes that anything that happens like that, there's a scientific explanation for it.
Probably. I hope.
There's no fucking...
Do you believe in angels?
No.
Okay, see, which is weird. I believe that there's like a higher spirit kind of looking down on us.
Like, the idea that you could be an adult and you could think... No, you could think,
Try
like...
easy here, son.
There is a ghost who's in my home manipulating my physical belongings, or my electricity, or my plumbing, or my, like...
That's a bored ghost.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you were a ghost, why would you go somewhere cool? I'd be in like a Ibiza. Or
Maybe
Bali or
they're only like,
something.
maybe there's a rule to ghosts. And again,
What's the rule?
That, hey, you gotta be around your family member.
But here's another thing. Everybody makes up rules of ghosts with family members. So what about all those haunted castles and houses and shit that like people...
Or if you died in that place. So you died in that place, you gotta stay in that place.
So that's a rule. You die in that place, you gotta stay in that...
I don't know. I'm just
Think
throwing
about
out
how
hypotheticals.
fucking ridiculous this is.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's ridiculous. I had a friend of mine a couple months ago, and he was showing me a video clip, and he was like, look, and it was on YouTube, and I could not believe that a grown man actually believed this. And it was just a video clip of this guy who claimed that he was experiencing these paranormal, these I don't know, he was going to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And there was a ghost apparently fucking with his lights. Right there. He felt his presence.
Every time his eyes are closed, he flip the lights
Just
on.
some fucking child in a man's body. And so he's lying in bed and he puts a camera on him to film himself sleeping, right?
Yeah.
Clearly this is all staged. But so my buddy's looking at it and he's like, look at this, check this shit out, man, watch this, okay. So look, and then the light goes off, right? So he's got, so just to set it up, camera's on the other side of the bed, he's sleeping in the bed. On the far side of the bed is the open bathroom door. So you can kind of see part of the toilet, you can see the sink, and you can see that there's a light on in the bathroom.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know if he's just sleeping with the light on because he's scared of ghosts, but who sleeps with the fucking bathroom light on 6 feet away?
Quite distracting.
Right? Second, so then the light starts flicking on and off. Right, so light goes on, light goes off. You can see the light switch, so there's clearly no one manipulating the light switch.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the tap goes on. Right?
How do you explain that?
The tap doesn't turn, but the water goes on. The water starts pouring, right? It would be more believable if the tap turned.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Right? So, but the tap doesn't turn, the water goes on, then the lights are all fucked with, and the water keeps going on and off. And he's like, how do you possibly explain this? Well, it was a very simple explanation. In 90% of modern homes, your fucking breaker panel is right beside your fucking water line, your main shutoff valve. You could literally have somebody in the basement just going flick, 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 flick.
That's true. Good point.
But like, this is where people. My point is that they want to look for a paranormal explanation where there is not.
You think they want to, or they're just like?
And it's like, and they look at it, they're like, well, it couldn't be somebody fucking around on a YouTube video. Who in their right mind would actually do that? Who would fake a ghost fucking experience on a YouTube video? Like, better question, who would fucking believe it? Like, grow up. My
Apparently a lot of people.
God. Like,
Yeah, it's excessive.
Lord. And then I had, so one of my neighbors, great guy, he was telling me the other day, he's a paramedic, right? Okay. And this was actually interesting, and and again, who am I to say that you didn't experience it? Right? But, so he said that he had just done an episode of a TV show called Paranormal 911. So it was all about first responders, like police officers, firefighters,
Seems like a
paramedics.
good use of their time.
It sounds like a fucking cool show, even though you're right. But, so officers, firefighters, paramedics, and the paranormal experiences that they have on the job. So he goes, Iberwin Stadium, you know, it's now Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Ontario, right? So it's where the Ticats play.
I played a few games there myself, actually.
Did you really know?
I was on TV Kojiko afterwards for game MVP one game.
Really?
Yeah. That's neither here nor there.
So
11 days.
So this is apparently Mrs. Wynn's house. Okay, so like I don't know who Ivor Wynn was. I'm sure he was a human at some point, but he then died, and his widow was living in this house. So she calls. I don't know what the call was originally. If it was like a medical emergency that turned into some fucking ghost call, but he gets there and she's like, "There's someone in the house." And so long story short, there's no one in the house. So then he tells me that and this is a very intelligent dude.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, this is a guy who I respect. He's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. He's a normal guy. And he's telling me, he's like, Matt, I went into this closet. It was a walk-in closet. And as soon as I opened the door, the temperature dropped. And then there was a wind blowing through the closet. There was a wind. Okay. There's a wind in the closet. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and then I see this hatch. It's an old Hamilton house. I see this hatch at the back of the closet. And I'm like, I gotta go check in there. First of all, I don't know why you're a paramedic and you're checking the place for fucking intruders, because I would imagine that the cops would do that. But having said that, he's like, I start walking towards this hatch, and I can't get there because the wind is so strong. It's just blowing against me, and I cannot get to this hatch. And he's like, and at that point, I got terrified, and I was like, fuck this, and I booked it.
You left lady.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck, lady.
You know,
hey, Miss Wind.
Best of luck with the wind. I'm fucking out.
It's probably nothing.
It's a draft in there. I don't know. It's a little draft.
Open a window.
Old house. It's supposed to be blowing over the
Close
outside.
the window, yeah.
But yeah, so and I was sitting there, and admittedly, like again, I respect the guy, nice guy, and I was sitting there the whole time.
So if you experienced something like that, what would happen to you? What do you think at that point? Would you look for rational explanations, or are you just like, holy shit, man? Like,
no, but you know what wouldn't happen? I would not experience it because it doesn't fucking happen.
But you're saying this logical, intelligent.
I know. I have no reasonable explanation for why he believes.
Maybe he's trying to get his show promoted. That episode he's on.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
He found a rube, and he's trying to trick you.
I was sitting there listening to it. I was fascinated by the story. I was like, this is interesting.
So he hooked you then?
Yeah, but more so.
Is that on?
It wasn't more so by the story. It was yeah. It was. I think it was episode 8 or something. I haven't watched it, but I want to watch it. It sounds cool. But I was sitting there more thinking like, this is fucking crazy that you actually think this happened. Not this is crazy that this happened. I was like, this is crazy that you actually think this happened. And everybody, whenever I have this conversation with somebody, everybody's always like, well, you'll never believe it until you experience it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But it's like this catch-22 because they're like, well, you can't experience it. And then you get some people like, you can't experience it if you don't believe in ghosts, and they're not going to come visit you.
You can't experience it.
Why the fuck would they do that?
You experience it.
Why would, first of all, how do ghosts fucking know what I do or don't believe? Like, are ghosts now able to, like, penetrate our psyche? Like, think about how fucking ridiculous this is getting. Like, well, you won't believe in ghosts until you experience it, but you can't experience it until you believe in the ghost. Like, it's fucking nonsense. Yeah. It's nonsense. Yeah. I got another friend who swears that he believes in he believes in ghosts because he was in a room one time sitting on a couch. It was in his little condo, and he walks into the other bedroom. He comes back, and his back sliding door is open. He's like, dude, I didn't open it. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't open it. No, you opened it because no one else opened it. And I can sure as shit tell you that a ghost didn't open it, so someone opened it. Like, either a dude walked into your condo.
Murderer in the back. He's like, I'm telling you, it's a fucking ghost. There's a guy with a knife in a corner right there. Probably him.
But it's like, the fifth story of a condo. I don't know what story it was, but it was kind of, so I was, I'm trying to tell him, like, dude, it wasn't a ghost. He was like, dude, it was a ghost. And then he takes it one step further. He's like, I had a vase on a shelf by the door, and that was moved.
Slightly
turned. You thought it was, but it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe your neighbors were banging upstairs and it rattled the walls and the fucking thing turned.
Good banging.
But I can tell you that a ghost didn't turn it. Like, to me, it's just, I don't know. It's fucking crazy that you could believe in that.
Yeah, people believe in Bigfoot. And they believe in the Loch Ness. Is the Loch Ness a real
I believe in Bigfoot before I believed in a ghost.
That doesn't mean you believe in Bigfoot.
I don't believe in Bigfoot. Okay. But I'm saying I would have an easier time wrapping my head around Bigfoot than someone dying.
Well, you could wrap your head around because, like,
soul floating around and now haunting people. Like,
I can see the Bigfoot thing because, like, you could see a large monkey on its, hind legs standing there, like, oh shit, it's like Bigfoot.
Yeah,
just a monkey standing.
Yeah, but and there's all sorts of species that are discovered all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Now, having said that, do I think there's some giant fucking ape wandering around Wyoming that no one's come across?
If you were walking Wyoming, I think you were fucking Bigfoot. I saw this Bigfoot dude, man.
It's just some dude lives in the bush.
He was flexing in the bushes.
Ah, no, that's just Billy. That's Billy.
That's just Big Matt Bacon. He comes in here, he flexes every now and then.
That's Cheyenne Billy. That's Cheyenne Billy in the bushes. That's not Bigfoot.
Don't worry about Cheyenne. Just leave Cheyenne alone.
All the residents of Wyoming just laugh at all the videos. It's Billy. That's
Classic Billy got you.
Yeah. Every Friday, Billy walks the woods. Every Saturday, people claim to saw Bigfoot. That's just Billy.
Brings the people in town.
We sell more waffles and pies every time Billy wanders the woods. So we're just going to keep this shit to ourselves. Yeah.
That's classic. All right, we got a short one today, so we got to get into a little bit of bro tip. Going off that. So we were thinking what would be a good bro tip for someone in the gym. This could go female or male. So we're talking about athletic wear in the gym. And you get some guys wearing the T-straps. I used to be one of those guys back in the day, and I was 22, looking deezed up, and you thought you'd show a little nipple action by accident, but it's a good look. It's tight. You get little traps in there. Mm-hmm. Then you get the spandex. The girls love the spandex. Hey, I wear spandex on leg days. Whenever I go roll in jiu-jitsu, you want to.
I know you do.
Yeah, that's a good quality look. Great look. Tuck it away, bro. Tuck it away.
Sledgehammer.
That's a classic right there. What else we got? What else people wear?
We gotta tell that story one day.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's a whole podcast.
That's a whole
right
podcast. There. Yeah. Okay.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on athletic wear? You gotta go to the body type. You just gotta figure out what's comfortable, what's inappropriate. What do you think?
You tell me yours first.
I think you gotta be fairly, conscious of your image, and end of the day, if you were to walk downstairs in your house and your mom and dad don't question it, you're probably okay.
Mom, how old are the people we're talking about here?
It's anybody.
Like 40-year-olds live with your mom.
Those people got to question everything.
I'm gonna question, everything.
Question everything. Yeah. No, I'll say, whatever, 18 to 30, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Parents, girlfriend, they don't question it really. Like I think there's a fine line between what the exercise you're doing that day and what you're doing. Like if I sprint or doing something high intensity or I'm grappling, I like be more aerodynamic, right? I like wearing the spandex or leg days. I don't want any restriction.
You genuinely feel like
I do.
You are more aerodynamic.
Yes, absolutely.
Aerodynamic.
I feel like one.
How fast are you moving?
I'm moving. I move.
The wind resistance when you're grappling is an issue for you.
You're just smoother.
Fuck, I would have beat you today if that wind resistance wasn't so heavy. Wait till I come back next week with my fucking spandex. I'm gonna own your shit.
It's a ghost resistance. It's the problem. Okay. But then, I guess you find some girls with this extravagant outfits, But again, I feel like if there's no wrong outfit.
No, I'm cool with it.
It's just whatever kind of fits your body type, right?
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that, right? You gotta be conscious of that. Be aware. Be self-aware.
So that's the bro tip. Be self-aware.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go off on that. That's actually what we're gonna talk about too. So, be self-aware in the gym. If you're wearing something, don't. You don't gotta always show. You don't gotta always show the gun. Sometimes a nice long sleeve, nice fitted long sleeve is a good look too.
Hunting season.
Hunting season.
It's summer, man.
Matt, it's always hunting season.
The guns come out.
Here F45 and.
I don't work out in tank tops though.
Be coaching them.
I coach them sometimes when it's just
all the time now.
It more has to do with the fact that my shirts are dirty. I prefer t-shirts.
But ironically, your tanks aren't getting dirty. Gotcha. That's what you call a gotcha right there.
So I used to train.
Tanks don't get dirty.
Brandon. They don't get dirty. They don't get that armpit stain.
Okay, well that's a great rebuttal right there.
Because that's like if you wear I wear antiperspirant, right? Not deodorant. And then if you wear the t-shirt, if you wear a t-shirt too many times, it gets that fucking weird little that oil mark or whatever it is, and then it just looks like you're permanently sweating into your armpits. It's not good.
But you smell good.
But
you look dirty.
Yeah, you look dirty. Yeah. It's the beard.
The beard makes your armpits sweat?
No, it makes me look dirty. I shave once every month and a half.
Yeah, we get.
I grow a beard like a teenage boy though. I just doesn't grow fast. Yeah, it just doesn't grow quick. I want a beard like yours.
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine growing in right now?
It's growing in a little bit, but you can tell it's solid.
It doesn't get too thick, but it gets too full when I get the full beard. My face gets too round.
Does it?
Yeah, I had one when I was in Thailand.
You got a square jaw. You got a very square jaw.
Fucking military man.
Fucking take a punch.
Eat it. But in Thailand, when I went away for 3 weeks, I let it go, and then came back and it was just really grizzly,
Yeah.
It didn't I thought it looked okay, but just to get people telling you yeah, what's up with the beard? When they kind of ask you that, hey, what's up with the beard?
Yeah.
They're trying to tell you hey, get rid of the beard.
Get rid of the beard. Yeah.
It's not hey, good beard.
Oh, you grew a beard.
Yeah, but hey, what's up with that?
Yeah.
It's hey, what's up with the spandex? I'm hey, good spandex.
That's face looks like an ass. Literally an ass.
What are you doing with an ass on your face?
No, I grew. So when I was a hockey player, I trained in a fairly intense athletic development facility, and our strength and conditioning coach, who I revered for years, he's an amazing coach. He would not allow tank tops in the gym. He would not allow tank tops. Didn't matter if you were male or female. If you came in a tank top, he was just so monotone with everything. He was not like a cheerleader type coach. He would just look at you and go, Brandon, go take the fucking tank top off. And then if you didn't have a t-shirt, there was a lost and found bin of dirty fucking shirts, and you'd have to put one of those on. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
what was his reasoning?
He just didn't like it. He didn't like
the show.
Yeah, that was also the first. This was many years ago, right? And that was the first gym I ever trained in where there were no mirrors.
Yeah,
which was cool. And his philosophy behind that, which I totally respect and believe in fundamentally now, is that we were doing a lot of dynamic stuff and a lot of advanced lifting. And he said, bad habits are developed when you're trying to assess your own technique by looking at your own image in a mirror. He said, you can't fucking see your angles. I want you to listen to what I'm telling you to do, and I want you to feel it. I want you to learn kinetically. Yeah. I don't want you to learn visually.
Yeah.
And it makes you a better lifter, man.
Makes sense.
That's a good bro tip for today, too.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if you are trying to teach yourself how to lift by looking at your own technique, you will never refine your technique to the best of your ability. You won't. You need somebody to help coach you.
And if worst case scenario, film it to the side, and then maybe like assess it afterwards.
Yeah, no,
Good way to go. If
but
I'm saying,
even
you don't have
so,
somebody next to you to.
even so, you can't be completely objective when you are looking at your own technique. Like you're gonna let things slide because you're just looking at your fucking triceps in the in the video. You will like you can't. I fundamentally believe that you cannot assess yourself. If you are a professional coach and you know exactly what you're looking for, you may be able to look at it with a little bit more of a detailed eye, but. Even the best lifters in the world, whether they're power lifters, Olympic lifters, whether they're professional athletes, they all have fucking coaches.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the coach necessarily knows more than they do, but if we're working out together, I want you to tell me I know how to do a fucking back squat, but when I'm, if I'm under a heavy load, there's things that are gonna slip. There's technical faults that are gonna present themselves that I won't necessarily feel because I'm working so hard. And I want you to tell me what to do. Because I trust your opinion. I want you to look at it and say, Matt, you gotta fucking tighten up this.
Yeah.
Or push your knees out. Or whatever that tiny little cue is. Just enough, yep, you know what, you're right. And if you are somebody who takes offense to another individual who has some knowledge telling you or giving you a bit of instruction, then you're ridiculous. You're an idiot.
And that's a good way to.
Right?
I like it. We're getting.
Take advice from anybody you can. Learn from everybody you can. Doesn't mean you have to be inspired or you have to necessarily believe or trust everything somebody says, but don't dismiss something someone else says because you think you know better.
Yeah.
Right?
You can always learn.
There's a book I read by a guy named Jordan Peterson, who's a Canadian psychologist. Brilliant book.
UofT
And it's,
boy.
yeah, from teaches at UofT. I believe he teaches
Harvard,
at Harvard.
Harvard and,
Harvard and UofT, but brilliant. And it was, and it's basically the 12 rules. I think it's called 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos, is what it's called. And I believe it's rule number 9, and I might be paraphrasing a bit, but it basically says, always assume that the person you're talking to knows something that you don't. And I remember reading that, and I hadn't even read the chapter yet, and I was like, if everybody in the world just did that in every conversation they had, how much better a world would we live in?
Yeah.
Like if everybody you talk to during your day, you just approach the conversation with the belief that they might have a little piece of knowledge that you don't possess, that regardless of what they do for a living, you could learn from them, how much more would you know?
Yeah.
You're
gonna be in a good environment that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are, what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Learn from them.
Then we're good.
Learn from them.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's a good cue to end it off on.